So if you've been paying attention to the car market at all, you've known over the last few months, there's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of pull forward in demand from buyers, and then a lot of slow times from a lot of these car dealers. And I am a small used car dealer that sells cars that are $5,000 and under. And I can tell you that I've experienced a lot of that here at my car dealership. And throughout this video, I'll tell you exactly what we're planning on doing going forward. And really right now is a big load up time for us. Now, we're not particularly busy right now in the car market. We're not trying to buy cars to sell them right now. We have a crazy time that's coming up for us, and it's tax time. And I know that seems like that's very far away for us, but we have to get ahead of all of these other car dealers right now in the car market to be able to still go in and buy cars at a cheaper price, to be able to have enough for what I want to have when we start hitting it really hard about 3 or 4 months from now. Now, here's the thing. Car dealers are the slowest that they're going to be all year round at the end of the year, right at the beginning of the following year. So you think end of December, beginning of January. That's when car dealers, small used car dealers like myself, are very, very, very slow. It's not the case with a lot of big new franchise dealers. They do a lot of deals. They have a lot of incentives that are pushing. They have a lot of end of the year goals, end of the month goals, end of the quarter goals. So they are more inclined to do a lot more deals at that time of year. But small used car dealers like myself, we don't have any incentives that are coming from any manufacturer. We don't have quarterly goals. I own my business. There's no one else that's going to give me any kind of benefit from selling more cars at the end of the year than 2 months ago or 2 months from now. So there's nothing that's added on to put any kind of pressure on me to be more negotiable at this time of year, other than we're just not selling a lot of cars. People are spending money on the holidays, on gifts, on things that are not cars, so they're not giving me their money right now. So that puts a lot of pressure on a lot of small used car dealers just like myself, and that means when cars go to the auction, these trade-ins that are showing up at a lot of these auctions, a lot less demand that's coming from small used car dealers like myself. So this is the time period when I actually pounce and go and try to load up on as many cheap vehicles as I can, because all this slow time, it comes right before the busiest time of year that we're going to experience, and that's tax time. And you got to imagine for us, I mean, check, these are the kind of cars that we sell. This is a $3,000 Kia Soul. Here's a Hyundai that's $4,000. We got a Lexus ES300 or 330, whatever it is, for $2,500. This is the price range, and these are the type of cars that we sell. So you have to imagine when people get tax refunds that are $2,500, $3,000, $4,000. Some of these families that have lots of kids, they can get tax checks back that are $6,000 and $7,000. We see it. And what do they do with this money? Well, it's the most money that they're going to have all year round. So they bring it here and they buy a car. So we're right in the middle of all of our load up time. You see all these cars behind me, these all over here. These are all in recon. We've actually got some cars that are parked next door too in storage. And I mean, if you look up at the hill, this is a lot more cars than what we've had in the last couple months. If you pay attention to this channel at all, you know that we've gone through basically this big accordion thing where we've had no cars, we get a lot of cars, and we sell some, then you know, right? So what we have to do right now is I have to buy more cars than we're able to sell. That's very difficult because the amount of cars that are actually at these dealer auctions is not great. A lot of these new car dealers, they're not taking in a lot of trade-ins because people aren't buying a lot of these new cars right now. So the amount of vehicles that are actually coming to the auction, very, very slim. But the added benefit that we have is that a lot of other car dealers are very weak right now, not selling a lot of vehicles, and we're approaching even slower times. So we're able, even though there are fewer cars at auction, we're still able to go in and buy and get better prices just because all these other dealers are so weak. So now my plan when tax checks start to roll around is that I'm going to have 150 cars. Now, that's a lot of risk that I'm taking on, and the downside is, okay, well, I'm hearing a lot from you in the comments that, well, tax time's going to be different this year. People aren't going to be able to spend their money on cars because they have to spend money on groceries. Inflation's happened, right? We have people that have credit card payments that they have to make. Here's the thing. I was hearing the exact same thing last year. We had crazy inflation last year. Yeah, maybe it's worse right now than it was this time last year. Maybe there are higher auto loan and credit card delinquencies right now than there were last year. But it seems like I hear the last 14 years, I've heard there's going to be some reason why tax checks, tax refunds aren't going to hit and your cars aren't going to sell. and every single year we've sold out. So I'm going to play to what normally happens, and you could be telling me I'm crazy and I shouldn't be buying all these cars, I shouldn't be outlaying all this cash. By the way, I pay cash for my cars, and I don't finance them, so there's no bank or anything to run to, and if I default, there's no like bankruptcy clause where I can just get out all my debt. So before these auctions start, we have to go through all these cars out here in this lot and actually check out these cars. And the one thing that we use is a code reader. But today, not only just an ordinary code reader, I'm using the Top Don code reader, and I don't even need a wire for this thing. Plug it straight in, it's gonna read the live data. I can do a battery check with this thing, read all the fault codes. I can even do a smog test for inspection with this thing. Absolutely great for you to have as a customer. If you're going to go buy a used car, this is your first line of defense before actually buying a used vehicle. This is a very important tool, and something like this, code readers have saved me tons and tons and tons of money over the last 14 years of actually buying and selling vehicles. Very important tool for me to put in my toolbox. All right, and this thing right here even resets a lot of these fault codes. You can clear them straight from this device, and at just like $37-ish, it's going to pay for itself from the first repair that you do. This is money I'm actually outlaying here on my lot. All these cars represent my cash that's sitting out here working for me. And so you could be saying, well, I mean, I'm making a massive mistake because this year's going to be different, but I don't think so. So make sure you're subscribed so you can actually see what happens as we're loading up, and you see some of the prices that we're paying, all these things. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel to make sure you're keeping up with what I'm doing. And if I'm making a massive mistake, you're going to be able to see it. So I will tell you one thing I am really worried about, and that's actually being able to find the amount of cars that we need. Right now we have, I think, like 85 cars would be my guess, and we still have another, three and a half months before the main part of spring selling season, tax refund season, actually gets here for us. The issue is that I'm still going to be selling cars all along that time. So I would guess we're going to sell between 45 and 65, hopefully 65, but between 45 and 65 cars each and every month until we get to that time period, and then we'll sell out. So if we have 150 cars, we'll sell them all in a month. But that is something that we're going to have to stay ahead of. So not only do I have to buy enough cars to get me up to 150 cars, but I have to be buying enough cars to cover the 150 cars plus the 45 to 65 cars that we're selling every single month. That's hard to do when we're only going to 3 or 4 auctions every single week. We have had to add an auction recently, and I've had to add on an auction. My cousin Alex, who is my mechanic and buys most of my cars that you see out here. I like him being able to buy the cars because he knows exactly what he's going to have to fix before they even get here. But he runs 3 of the auctions, and one of them overlaps with one of the other ones that he's already going to. So now what does the boss have to do? The boss has to work, right? So I have to go to one of these new auctions, and it's something that we have to do, and I might have to add more auctions to be able to get us even we're anywhere close to the number that I'm trying to hit before we get to tax season. And if it gets to be a month and a half from now, and we're still hovering around what we have now, be it that we just can't find the cars, or 2, the better scenario is that we're just selling the lights out of the cars, so I'm not able to keep up. I don't think that's going to happen because we're slower around this time of year, and as the next 2 months come around, where it should even be slower than what we are right now. But let's say something great happens and we start selling a lot of cars, then I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, I'm be happy that we're selling a lot of cars, but if I get my lot depleted and tax time rolls around, then there's going to be a lot of money that's going to be left on the table. So that's a new problem that I'm going to have to solve if that arises. But I don't think that's going to be the case. All right, so this is what loading up our car lot looks like. So I am up well before my son got up for school this morning, and I am heading to the auction when the sun is not up yet. This auction's about an hour away, and it's just an auction I picked up just probably about a month ago, but we gotta buy more cars. So we're not able to, at the auctions that we're going to right now, we're not able to get enough cars to buy more than we're actually selling at our lot. and that doesn't bode well for inventory stack up, right? And I'm not the primary at my dealership to buy cars. It's Alex, and he has been that for what, 3 years now. I think I've been doing YouTube, and when I started really doing YouTube full time and making these videos for you guys, that's when Alex really took over buying most of the cars. And even before that, I had another guy that worked for me, he was on the road every single day buying cars. So this is not something that I've been used to for a very long time. But I mean, small business owner, you got to do what you got to do to get it done. And this is what we're doing right now. We're going over an hour away to an auction that starts at 9 in the morning. But I can't just show up there at 9 in the morning and expect to know what I'm buying. So I have to go and get there at least an hour before. I mean, I'm running a little bit late today, but I'll get there right at an hour before the auction, and that gives me an hour to look through cars. This auction that I'm going to, they actually run, like 2,500 cars every week. Every week they run 2,500 cars, 16 lanes. No, I don't have to go through 2,500 cars. The night before last night, I went through the run list and narrowed it down to the cars that were in like my price range, which broke it down to like 250 cars, and then I went through those cars on the run list to see which ones I would even be interested in. So I can easily narrow out some cars like 2008 Nissan Altima CVT, the transmission that I don't want at all. I know we just don't buy. Volkswagens, Audis, things that I don't touch. Like, I can go ahead and narrow those out too, make the list smaller. And then I narrowed it down to like 30 cars that I wanted to look at. Some Toyotas, some Hondas, some Mazdas that I wanted to check out, some Fords that I'm okay with. And then I go in and look at the pictures of them, and a lot of them get narrowed out that way. If there's rust that's apparent, then I'll just go ahead and drop those off the list. And I got it down to like, I think it's like 12 or 13 cars that I have on my list. Got it right here. It's one piece of paper, which is not great. I would like to go there and buy 10 cars if I'm spending this much time to actually go and buy. But I bought 11 cars there last week. But probably not gonna be the case this week. I would guess 3-4 cars, which at this point is still worth going, but it's just a lot of work for, I won't say a ton of work. I mean, we got to get up. It's a lot of time and a lot of inconvenient work, I'm gonna put it that way, to only get 3 or 4 cars. But anyway, that's what it looks like, and this is what we're doing right now. And now I'm pulling in to go get me some coffee. All right, so I made it. This is actually an auction I can't film at, but we have, I think, 12 on our list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12. Yeah, we got 12. So what generally happens is if I go into an auction, I have 12 on my list, then I usually cut down about half of those off of my list because something's wrong with them. We'll scan them, transmission code, engine code, something that I don't want to deal with. So I can actually... So this thing right here saves me a ton of money. This is a code reader. Take this in before the auction with us. But I'll have half of them drop off. Hopefully not more than that, because then it gets very tough to buy the 3 or 4 that it's going to mean that it's even worth really coming out here and buying. And I didn't dress warm enough. It is cold. But anyway, I will let you know after the auction's done. Actually, I'll come check back in with you after I go check out the cars and let you know how many of those 12 that I actually am going to try to bid on. All right, so I was exactly right, checked them out, and I eliminated half of them. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 that we're going to actually bid on. And of those that I'm going to bid on, I would guess if it's a good price day, meaning dealers are a little bit weaker, then I can get probably 4 or 5 of them. If it's a stronger day, dealers are paying a little bit more, I'm probably only going to get 1 or 2. My goal is 3. When I come up here, the time that we're putting into it, 3 is about the baseline of what I want to get to make this trip actually worth it. So I think we'll get there. I think positive thoughts. We'll get there. All right, so I'm back. I actually almost forgot to let you know how many cars I bought. Turns out we bought 3. It's interesting how that works out. With the reason I didn't do it at the auction, as soon as I was done bidding on that last car, I'm so tired this morning. Just left, but glad I remembered to come back and tell you about it. It's interesting how that almost always works out, where we have 12 on the list. Okay, half of them are going to be junk. Exactly right. Half of them were junk I didn't want to bid on. And then of the ones that are left, 6, we were able to get half of those. It works out just about in that percentage almost every time. And I've been doing it for a long time now, 14 years. And it seems like every time we have a list, that's usually the ratio that it breaks down into. Half cars we don't want to buy and half the cars we're not able to buy because they just went for too much or whatever it was. And that was the case this morning. So the 3 cars that I didn't get, they went for, it was like $1,000 more than I even pegged them at. Now I've been out of the game actually buying cars and seeing what other dealers are paying for these cars at the auction for a while, at least with me not being in front of the camera, but me actually holding the card, bidding on the cars. So it's probably not a surprise to Alex, my mechanic, who bids on a lot of these cars. But it blows me away each and every time I go to the auction now more frequently that how much these other dealers will pay for a lot of these cars that I'm trying to buy, and I'm trying to pay $1,500 for it. I mean, just even a car like this right here I got parked behind me. I mean, this is in my eyes, this is like a $1,500 car. We can sell it for $2,500. This is a Toyota Solara. It's got a lot of miles on it. That's what somebody will pay for it, right? Nah, not anymore. These same kind of cars I was paying $1,500 for just a few years ago. Now they're going for $2,500, and we would have to sell them for $3,500, $4,000. But that's the market now. Things continue to go up. I got to throw away my grandpa syndrome and just, if it's a good car and I think we can sell it, I just got to pay up for it. But today I felt like I got some pretty good deals, and I'm not going to pay $1,000 more for some of these cars that I don't think are worth it. Absolutely insane. I'm just venting. Venting is the word that I'm looking for. I'm just venting at this point. It's very frustrating. Make sure you're subscribed if you want to keep getting updates about what we're doing, what we're buying, how much we're paying for cars. I'm going to try to keep you updated as much as possible on this channel. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do all the things. Thank you.